Life is what happens while you're making plans. What's up, everybody? It's Win here. Haven't been as consistent as I'd like to be, but um, I'm here because I just wanted to be back and be back more often. So, what am I talking about today? Well, I was thinking a couple things. Um, Firstly, again, why is life is what happens while you're making plans? Is because I've been like thinking, oh man, I gotta be consistent, gotta keep putting these videos out, and if you stop, a lot of people stop watching you, man, and that's how it works. You just gotta grind. In any case, but it's like you know, it's just rattling off the cuff and like what, I wanted to show you guys, like I'm trying to learn about the market and trading and show you my journey, you know, but I've been not as consistent as I like with that. And also just planning wise, when I am, you know, uh, doing things with that, I haven't documented it, so I have to do that, and all the other things we're talking about. But so I thought today, let me just hit on some topics that I know that that I'm interested in. I can pretty much rattle off on. Maybe you guys are interested in some of this stuff. Uh, I like um, reading novels, so that's one thing. But I'm not going to discuss that now. I like old movies, like movies, period. And I like old movies, and I definitely like to get into that, chew off and some of that stuff. Um, the markets and stuff, like I'm learning, but it's really fascinating, and but also combat sports, MMA and boxing. I follow that for many years, so that's what I'm going to discuss, today, especially since they have a really pivotal fight coming in a couple of weeks. The rematch, better Btief and Bivol. Um, their first one took place, not that long ago, and I, you know, as everybody else did, said it would be a 50-50 fight, and it pretty much was. I mean, we all know who won that fight now, and still the second fight is a 50-50 as well, except for mentally. Of course, it's better Btief won. He has that edge, but Bivol is a winner, and that's more fire under him to make it happen. So I don't know. The whole thing that with this fight over here, that while I was watching it, I was watching with my brother. I was thinking was, Bivol's doing some good stuff. He's going in, striking, moving out, so that better Btief is not able to to get him. And he was like, to me, winning on points. But the whole thing was initially, the whole thing was, I kept saying every time he does it, and he's hitting it, better Btief pretty, sometimes he get like a nice combo on him, and you know, and still not get really hit. But better Btief really never looked phased, even when he was getting, about 2, 3 punches on his face. And the whole thing, I was like, you can't hurt him, man. He's a machine. He's gonna keep, walking you down and beating you up. And he started. That's what happened. He started taking control later on in the fight, and he never really hurt Bivol badly. But if any of the two of them got hurt more, I would say Bivol got hurt more than better Btief did. So and then basically I think he better Btief, uh, you know, really took over to some degree. Never really going way ahead, but like towards the later rounds. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next fight. But really, I'm here to talk about the heavyweights because, to me, that's always been like what fascinated me about boxing. I started watching back in the day. Hey, Sonny, when Muhammad Ali was, was tearing it up, man, and I loved it. He was so charismatic, man, and a beast, and devilishly smart, man. You know, he had the sweet signs down pat, man. His ring generalship was, you know, above levels, and his mind game was what really made the difference. And his tenacity. But yeah, so I remember watching that with my brothers and my dad, just hearing him doing some of those ancient history, Howard Cosell interviews, and how he joked with the old man, uh, and so those my learning years, which really got me into boxing. And then who came after that? The big name that came after that, the early '80s, Iron Mike Tyson, and that guy was crazy, man. He won before he even fought. Stepped in the ring, because he had that mind game on these people. A lot of them were like beating themselves up before Tyson actually did. So, you know, he had that advantage, and he was fierce and fast, and he was right now the youngest man to ever become a heavyweight champion. And there's this guy called Moses Tumo who's trying to break that record, man. And that guy is a dangerous dude. He's from England, so it'll be interesting to see what he does. So that's interesting. But yeah. So Mike, actually, I told you I was a bartender. I saw him a couple times at different places. I worked at different bars. One was I worked in the nightclubs in Manhattan, and I saw him at the Tunnel nightclub in the mid '90s, probably like '96. So he was still doing his thing as well, but it's basically tail end with his career. And I saw him in this other place I was working, a restaurant where I was pretty hip among local insiders in the music industry and things like that. And it was a Jamaican restaurant in Manhattan, in Chelsea. So some of you probably might know what that place was. And he came there a couple times. Actually, so did Lennox Lewis and I don't know, a bunch of other people. And I'll tell you one day a funny story about, because I was fit always, and I did martial arts from a young kid, but how I got a little intimidated by Mike Tyson on my own. But I'm not telling that story right now. You got to come back one day to hear that one. But what was I going to say? So, the heavyweights, man. All right. So, they were the three kings with the land of giants a couple of years back, and now they're all gone. Let us start with Anthony Joshua from England. 6'6", 250 plus pounds of pure muscle and mayhem, and he's tearing through those blokes just like knife through butter, right? Yeah, and the crazy fight that, first of all, Uzyk's a badass dude, man. I mean, 6'3", he's a normal size cruiserweight king, now heavyweight king, and there's a Holyfield who did it, and I would say Usyk was actually his star shines a little bit brighter just because of his record as being undisputed in the cruiserweight, and then undisputed in the heavyweight. I mean, Holyfield might have that too, but I think if also he fights, say, and there's this fight coming up that's what I want to talk about as well, with Daniel Dubois, who not dethroned Anthony Joshua, but basically hit that, hammered that nail into the coffin of AJ's career to some extent. We'll see what happens. Hopefully he'll fight Fury, but who knows with Fury, man. And after his two losses to Usyk,